Hang in there for this video and we're going to take a look at the fabulous new 2022 Memorial Sovereign range. Hey guys, welcome back to the Numistacker channel, and today I want to focus on the 2022 issue proof sovereigns from the Royal Mint. It's been an extremely busy year for the Royal Mint when it comes to sovereigns this year. So probably actually the busiest year ever for sovereigns in terms of what the Royal Mint have tried to do this year. And I thought it was worth taking a little bit of time out and just focusing on the two 2022 sovereign issues and what might happen in 2023 to really just take a look at the coins, the marketplace, have a little chat about whether or not those coins are likely to be good buys for you guys in terms of a purchase or an investment over a period of time. Let's start first with 2022. Every single year there is a sovereign release, and that's been the case on a regular annual basis since the early 1970s. Before that they were every now and again, and the first modern sovereigns go back to 1817. So every year there is a sovereign release. Sometimes the coin has only the St. George default design on it. Other times there is a special year. There are a lot of people out there who collect special year sovereigns. Quite often those special years have something to celebrate, so they tend to focus on anniversaries. The 500th anniversary of the Tudor sovereign, the 2002 Jubilee, the 2012 Jubilee, the 2017 anniversary of the modern sovereign taking the design of the 1817 garter around the design around the St. George. 2022, the design was special because it commemorated Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, and no one was to know at that time that this would be Her Majesty's last year. And so for the first time in history the Royal Mint have brought out two separate editions of the 2022 sovereign within 1 year. In order to avoid conflict, they have named the second edition as the Memorial Sovereign, and the second edition is a commemoration of the Queen's reign, but it has King Charles's portrait, the first sovereign with King Charles's portrait on the coin as well. For those of you who don't focus on these kind of editions day to day, then it can be a little bit confusing. There are proof releases of these coins from the Royal Mint. There are also, normally running just a little bit afterwards, bullion editions which have a much lower premium and a much lower fit and finish on the coin in terms of strike quality. And quite often you get a combination of single coins available and sets of coins available. In recent years there has tended to be a quarter sovereign, half sovereign and a full sovereign released as individual coins. Also, quite often there is a brilliant uncirculated version of the largest sovereign, which is the 5 sovereign, which contains 1.17 ounces of gold. The quarter sovereigns started in 2009 in order to recognise the increase in the price of gold and give something which was still going to be affordable as a present or as a collectible in gold. Quite often you find that the quarter sovereign and the half sovereign are produced in pretty small numbers, and quite often the half sovereign can be no more than 25% of the number of coins compared to the full sovereign. However, while it looks like those coins are rare because of their low mintage, it is also true to say that the vast bulk of collectors collect the regular one sovereign denomination. So although the mintages of the other smaller coins are lower, there are not nearly as many people out there who collect them. So you have the quarter, the half and the one sovereign as an addition, and then they have a strategy of releasing box sets of the different sizes. So this year for the memorial sovereign you had the 3 coin box set, the 4 coin box set and the 5 coin box set. There are 2 very highly collectible coins, the 5 sovereign, the largest one, and the 2 sovereign, and you only find those coins inside the boxed sets. There is also something else to bear in mind, and that is that the distribution of those sets are strategically different as well. The 5 coin sets, there tends to be quite a large number of pre-sales to collectors on the Royal Mint's Mint Mark scheme and regular subscribers, and there is usually just a small number of those available on the Mint website for purchase on the day of release. Those 5 coin sets contain 5, 2, 1, half and quarter. And this year you had a 4 coin set which was containing the 2, the 1, the half and the quarter. That was only available from the Royal Mint directly and not through any other retail channels or distribution channels that the Mint might have. I suppose the value for money example of the box set this year was probably the 3 coin set, because the 3 coin set was a little bit cheaper than buying the 1, the half and the quarter in its own boxes and wrapping. There is another interesting variation of the sovereign, which is the Piedfort proof sovereign. So the Piedfort proof has been produced for, I think, all but 1 year in the last few years since 2017, and it's the size, the diameter of a regular sovereign, but it has double the thickness, so that it contains exactly the same amount of gold as the 2 sovereign, which is in the 4 coin and 5 coin sets, which is round about just under 16 grams of gold for that coin. It's interesting that those Piedfort sovereigns, sometimes they're overlooked. I think people find that when they look at those coins, they want to see maybe something with a bigger diameter rather than something which is a little bit thicker, but they both contain the same amounts of gold. The 2017 ones have done extremely well on the secondary market, and the Royal Mint have just released figures for 2019 which show that, of roughly 2,500 that were minted or available for purchase, only around 650 odd were actually sold. So the 2019 hasn't been doing that well to date in the market in terms of price, because it looks like a kind of regular sovereign. It's not a special year, but collectors might find that in the future that one has quite a lot of a boot, because of the fact that it is probably the rarest of the recent releases, because they sold so few of them. So that might be one to watch out for. In 2022, the regular Piedfort sovereign had a mintage of about 3,500, and I think that the Mint felt that was a little bit too high, and those didn't sell out terribly well. In fact, they may still be available on the Royal Mint website if you want to buy one. So when they released the mintages, or when they authorised the release of the brand new 2022, the Memorial Sovereign, they actually aimed much lower, and that one sold out quite quickly. I think maybe even a third less, or more than a third less, compared to the regular Sovereign of that release. So that may be one to watch out for. So what's the difference between the Memorial Sovereign and the general 2022 Sovereign? Well, let me start by saying that I think that the Memorial Sovereign is an absolutely beautiful coin which will be incredibly popular in the market in years to come. In terms of design, the obverse designer of that was a guy called Martin Jennings, and Martin Jennings designed the obverse, which in this case is the portrait of Charles III, and the reverse designer was Jody Clark, who is fast becoming a legend in his own lifetime, really. He's an absolutely great designer, and some of the best Royal Mint coins have been designed by him. Incidentally, those 2022 Memorial Sovereigns, any that weren't sold within the time period ending 31st of December were actually taken off sale. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual sales figures end up at when they're released in a few years' time on those. And the 2022 regular Sovereign, the one that was released as the standard issue Sovereign, has an obverse, so that's the portrait of the Queen designed by Jody Clark, but then the other side, the shield, was designed by Timothy Node, who is a very well-known heraldic designer who also produced the 2002, I think the 2005, and is renowned for very beautiful historical designs, particularly kind of the flowery designs of the 2021 95th anniversary coins that he also did. Of the two shields, my personal favourite is the Memorial Shield. It has had some criticism because it takes up the vast majority of the surface of the coin. There isn't very much shiny field showing because it's so ornate and detailed. But I do like that about it. I think that the ornateness is something that really adds to that particular coin and makes it a very special coin as well. So it's going to be interesting to see which one should you go for if you were only to add one of those into your collection. Pros and cons: the regular Sovereign release generally had much lower mintages, particularly on the 5-coin sets where there were only 750 of them released. But it may be that over time the demand will be there for the Memorial Sovereign 5-coin set, even though that set has a higher mintage. It is quite likely that in terms of worldwide demand, being a memorial set and being the first one to feature the Charles portrait, it may be that that will over a period of time have a little bit of extra demand from collectors who want to keep those coins in their permanent collection. So I think it's, you pay your money and you take your choice. Be interested to hear in the feedback. Please do feedback below, but let me know which one of those Sovereigns you think will be the absolute winner over time. Is it the Memorial Sovereign or is it the regular Sovereign? Before I go, don't forget that 2023 will also be a very big year, because that will be the year of the coronation of Charles III, and it is very likely that 2023 will feature another special release of Sovereign. That's 3 in a row, which is almost unheard of, but there should be another one, and it'll be interesting to see what they bring out. but obviously I don't think 2023 will be a standard year design. It will have something special about it. And those of you who've been following my previous videos on celebration sovereigns, which are struck on a particular day, I'm pretty sure there will be one or even maybe two celebration sovereigns struck in 2023 relating to the coronation of Charles as king, and maybe even Queen Camilla as consort. So details of that will probably emerge over the next few months, and you may see some releases of information from various sources backing up exactly what will happen with the 2023 issues. So that's all from me at the moment, and if you're still with me after 12-13 minutes, then thanks very much for that. If you're not a subscriber, please do bash on that subscribe button. It really helps the channel if you subscribe, and that also allows you to get regular notifications. So happy 2023. That's all from me at the moment until the next one.